Yesterday we read.
This meeting is being recorded.
You are not guiding the blind. So, so today we want to be discussing about what success means to each and every one of us.
What
And
page are we on?
This is what makes us be either chasing the winds. We are going to read from page 29. Yeah, that paragraph there up in my own understanding. So we will, many people try to chase success which they haven't defined, and by the end of the day, they end up just chasing a mirage. Yeah, you move at it as it moves, and then you do not obtain happiness or fulfillment in life. And so that is what we basically want to focus on today. And I was thinking of even approaching it a different way, that we should listen to what people call success first. What does success mean to you? And then we will read briefly. I think it's 2 pages, and then we further discuss. Anybody would like to share with us what success means in their understanding?
I can try.
How do you define it?
I can try.
Yes.
Success is identifying your purpose and living it.
Yes, identifying your purpose and living it.
Because when you identify your purpose and live it, that's where your happiness lies, in serving humanity through your unique gifting, and that's where happiness comes from.
Good.
Good morning.
Good morning, Elsie.
Yeah, for me, success is being in control of being clear about what I can control and what I cannot control. I truly believe that once I'm clear about what it is I can control and what I cannot control, I'll be able to live life more productively, as opposed to allowing things to happen or living in the past or living in the future. Just being in that space where I know what it is and who it is that controls my now.
Beautiful. Being in control. Yes. Another way to ask again, maybe not the same question, but similar, is what makes you happy? Yes, you do it and it makes you happy. Probably, many of us don't think of success like that. And so we keep chasing happiness. Yeah. Well, this is what I'd like us to read today from this point. As we close this chapter, I skipped a few pages. In my own understanding, I concur with Earl Nightingale, John Maxwell, plus a few other philosophers, that success is the progressive realization of a predetermined worthy ideal. This predetermined worthy ideal has a lot to do with your life's purpose. You must be on the way towards realizing it, bit by bit, and thus building your legacy upon it. In other words, in the words of John Maxwell, success is 1, identifying your purpose in life; 2, progressively growing yourself and realizing that purpose to the max; 3, sowing seeds that benefit others. That legacy part is very central to your living. This is the sowing of seeds for others to reap. It is the planting of trees under whose shades you will not sit, the building of bridges you will never cross. Every single day you are at work, carrying out activities in your life, you will be realizing that you are, in a way, little by little contributing towards your legacy, whether negatively or positively. Every day is a chapter in the book of your life, an episode in your movie where you are the star. Unless you are doing something really odd, this realization will make you to be very happy doing your work. It therefore makes you feel happy and satisfied. It has not much relationship with how much money you have in your bank account, but much to do with how much joy is in your heart. It makes you feel and believe that you're now starting to live your dream. Therefore, for anyone who wants to live a highly fulfilled life, who wants to be always happy and excited to wake up and go to work, to live a highly rewarding life, both materially and emotionally, one must have a life purpose and work at it, realizing it bit by bit and moving slowly but surely towards the legacy he or she wants to leave. And if you ask me, that is one major reason some people seem to be doing better, healthier, happier, and looking younger. Personally, I consider my goal in life to be that of teaching people how to live their dreams, how to achieve greatness, to uplift people emotionally, and to share with them who are less informed, who think that achievement or happier living is a matter of good fortune or a reserve for particular people, that they may realize that they too have a chance. My dream has been to empower and keep over 1 million people with ideas and skills that enable them to realize their true worth, their dreams, and thus assisting many more. In writing this book, which is now in your hands, in part, I am living my dream. It is natural for me to educate people, to share the knowledge I have acquired through observation and analysis over the years from my personal life and those of others. God naturally endowed me with the gifts and abilities towards this mission by providing me with natural curiosity into understanding, contemplative and discernment abilities, a scientific mind and academic prowess, ability for public speaking, and all necessary tools to accomplish this mission, even guiding my path towards what to study in college, jobs to take, and putting such desires in my heart. I am alive when I am sharing knowledge and motivating people. And I am very grateful for the time you're spending with me here, being part of this noble mission. You too have a mission and you are well equipped for it. I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost almost 300 games. On 26 occasions, I have been entrusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeed. Michael
Hello,
Jordan.
OPP. OPP.
Yes.
Imagine I don't have that thing that you've just read. It's not there on after page 31.
Okay, I know why. Don't worry. Thank
Even
you.
I'm missing it.
Okay, please
Okay.
repeat it. Please repeat it.
That is a quote that introduces chapter 2. I think so, because I'm also seeing it on that page.
It's
But I
not
know
there in
it's
the
in the
book.
book. It's in the book. It's in the book. You will
In
get
my
it in
book,
chapter 2.
in my book, it's not there. Imagine.
It's
You will
also
get
not.
it in chapter 2.
It's also not. Too.
You will get it in chapter 2. I know
Oh,
you will get it. I will show you where it is.
Maybe at the end, eh?
Dr.
Yeah.
Edda, page 37.
Okay.
You see?
It's by Michael Jordan.
Yeah. It's there. So
Michael Jordan, yeah.
Yeah. So I think we need to discuss from that point. Success in your own understanding and what that text said. There are two definitions there. One is from Nightingale that says progressive realization of a predetermined worthy ideal. The other one is from Maxwell that has 3 parts. And it says, one is you identify your purpose in life, which is what we've been discussing the last 2 or 3 sessions. And then growing towards your marks, you grow in that purpose. And then the third is now you sow seeds that will benefit others. So what are our reactions or comments on the same?
I think I get it. Success is all about growth. It's all about flourishing. And even as I grow, I bear fruits, which I don't keep to myself, I share with others. And I think that's a deep insight for me, because it's not just about me, it's also about the impact I'm making in other people's lives. And I love what Al Nightingale says, and also John Maxwell. It's gotten me thinking more. It's all about growth, not of myself, but also of others too, those around me. And in turn, creating a legacy. Like you now, you've stated your goal, you've stated your dream, and then you've stated who is responsible for that dream, and also you've talked about being alive and staying alive.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It is that progress, the progressive realization. And it's not a destination, therefore. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Caroline?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yes, OPP, I think on the path of success. When I look at the growth and some of the characters in my personality that I'm trying to adopt in life, I think I have developed a lot. I'm not where I was a few years ago. I'm assessing my success based on the failures. And to me, I've seen that there's a very thin line between success and failure. And I'm sure I am achieving the goals I set out to achieve, and I'm on the path of success. Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes, somebody else. Susan, what would you say?
When I speak of success, it has been in my mind after reading some books, because before that I was wondering, what is this success? Is it a destination? Then I come to notice it's a four dimension things in parts of physical, that is health, social, and financial, and spiritual. So in all the areas, whatever I do, I always check into, am I handling both the areas? Am I doing the exercise I need to do to keep healthy? Am I eating the right diet so that at least I don't get deficiency in one area? Am I overdoing one thing so that I don't overwork my health? So that is what success has always been to me. Despite helping people, I live what I believe and I practice what I live. Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful. Great. Great. So it has to do with what we do daily. John, what do you say?
Well, this is a topic I think I've researched for quite some time. And my take is this: I know you cannot become successful. You can only be successful, becoming and being. Because I'm big in living in the moment. So I describe success like when doing whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is that you've decided you're doing, becomes infused with the timeless quality of being. That is, whatever it is that you decide to do right now, you are conscious about it. You're not hurting other people along the way to achieve whatever it is that you do. Because if you're doing and you're hurting other people along the way to get something by the end of the day, then you're not being successful as a person, because you've left traces of hatred in between. So when we live in the moment and we do at the same time, we are conscious of what we are doing, then we're becoming successful, whatever it is like my sister said, if it is exercising, eating your healthy food, and all whatever it is that you're doing in between, you're not interfering with other people's lives, then you're becoming successful in whatever it is. And then again, I keep on saying, you cannot go to a job you cannot go to a job you don't like, driving a Mercedes Benz, and claim that you're successful. You're lying to yourself. Asante.
Thank you. You know, traditionally, we have had various meanings and definitions of success. In our traditional African society, if you are not married, you are a failure. Yeah. If you do not have children, you are a failure. Maybe if you do not go to, at some point, you do not go to school enough, or you do not take a particular course, you're just taking some other courses, then you are a failure. And somewhat these things, they brand us differently. Yeah. Somebody who's done, for example, medicine is more successful than somebody who's done, say, anthropology. Yeah. Even in the universities, people feel the levels of success depending on which courses they are doing. And we also see success in terms of I got first class, I got second upper, whatever, levels of success. And these things get into our emotions and they torment us along the way. Sometimes we check success with respect to, maybe depending on where you come from, how many cows or goats we have, how big our houses or the vehicles, and maybe what is the salary and all sorts of things. The question is, by the end of the day, does that really mean success? Yeah, and some of us who've chased those, Elsie just shared with us the other day, at some point you realize that it's not worth it, and you start redefining yourself to look for what really success means to you. And by the time we stop maybe comparing ourselves with others, trying to build a house like so-and-so, trying to go to holidays like the other one, all those things are good, but we may realize that they do not necessarily add into what we call success. And something funny about me is when I was growing up and my dad was not able to pay for my school fees, and a number of times I was pushed to go and sue him. Yeah, you know, those things happen. Yeah, you can go to the education office, the divisional district, and tell them, because my dad was a teacher. But I didn't hold any grudge, and I would just laugh at the situation at some point, because I was thinking maybe his definition of success is very different. Yeah, and I still think about it today. I used to say, and I've written it, part of the pages I passed, that maybe he was reading from Ecclesiastes. Yeah, and Ecclesiastes, if you read from Ecclesiastes and you start saying vanity of vanities, everything is vanity, there is no end to writing of books. You see, it looks like a desperate situation. All that you can do is to eat and drink and make merry. That is what he was doing, just drinking and making merry. So we may look down on other people, but maybe they're just happy. Sometimes you look at mad people and you realize that they are probably enjoying life more than you are enjoying with all your brain intact, with everything in you, your mind working very well. So any contribution on the same, adding or commenting?
Hello, OPP.
Yes.
I'd like to correct you on that one. I think in First Thessalonians, it says, it says that anybody who fails to provide for his family is worse than an unbeliever. Yeah, anybody who fails to provide for his family is worse than an unbeliever. And but also, you know that alcoholism is a mental illness. Yeah, but don't say that because as soon as you become a father or a parent, your purpose is the procreation and education of children unto eternal life. Failure to do that, you will come to answer for that. If your child fails to make it to eternity with God, your part, of course, the child has free will, but your part will be discerned by the Lord. So do not say that he was just enjoying life, because it's actually, it comes with a commandment. You're worse than an unbeliever when you fail to provide for your next of kin.
Yeah, that may be true, but you see, we can't judge. Personally, I don't judge. So maybe they were reading from that book, and so they are justified. They are happy. you look much younger. Whatever you've been eating, continue eating it.
You know,
Yes.
my granddaughter was baptized, and ever since then, everybody has been saying that I'm glowing.
I think you were waiting for that baptism.
It was. I've been waiting for that baptism. It's true, and so everybody is saying that I'm just glowing, but it's the Lord anyway.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. So any other contribution on the same? Odhiambo, what do you say? Yes, John, somebody.
Yeah, I think when we start, sometimes basically when we start making those lines between the two names, success and failure, that is where we start going wrong, because as per what I believe is that there is no failure. You're just in training to be rerouted to the right direction. Yeah, you're in school when you are trying to do something and then you fail. What we call, so in other words, when you fail, then you become a loser in terms of humanity, you know. But when you do something and you don't succeed, then you're just being rerouted to the right direction. Yeah? One of the early people who discovered whatever, was it Edison who said he's discovered 10,000 ways of not how to do something, you get it? So basically you're just being rerouted towards. So there's no apparently that this person is a failure, this person is successful, this person is this way. No, it is just they are siblings. The two are siblings that you have to go through one to get to the next one. Thanks.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, every previous speakers have said everything. So all I can say is just amen with a light touch. I think there are two things that are coming out. There are two things that are coming out here, and that is that as far as I'm my personal and family and professional background is concerned, I think success has everything to do with your mind. It's very psychological. I remember when we were blessed with our two children, one of the things I put my foot down as the head of my homestead, or head of my family, was to direct that all the house helps and anybody who was coming to my house, we talk about success. We don't talk about failure. So that we started with the house help. The moment you start telling a child at that stage that the child is mjinga, is stupid, you're already giving them that wrong culture of believing that yes, it is they are a failure. And it worked out very well. And even I think that positive attitude also, even the house helps themselves, we ingrained it in them that they themselves are not a failure to be house help. God's time is the best time. They've been given that opportunity it's a transition to do that. And then back to our main topic of success. I believe that in addition to everything we have said, success is a journey. It is not instant coffee. Remember, there's a politician who said, elections are not just instant. It's not like instant coffee. It's a process. So you go through this and that and that. And the Bible also tells us about it so well. And that is that we'll be having, our lives will not be just a bed of roses. We'll be having to climb some hills, some valleys, there's some rivers we'll have to cross. There'll be some dark moments, and this journey is a journey that we have to walk together. You cannot walk it alone and say you're successful. Even the fastest man in the world, who is called Kipchoge. When he did the historic marathon, he was running alone. We are seeing on the screen that he was alone, but he was not really alone. Was he alone? No. He had all those other people who are around him, who are helping him also in one way or another by running with him. And then there were those many millions and thousands of people who are on that marathon route to cheer him along. And some of them just wanted to see. You know, curiosity, as they say, kills a cat. They wanted to see this guy who we are saying is a success. Who is he? What is he doing? Is he bionic? Come on, America Vitus are, you know, those things. Yeah. And then there are those who are back home in his village who are seeing that inspiration that yes, you can. Yes, we can. He started off just running in the village. That's how they usually do. They run in the village and this and this. So everybody else there, wanamwangalia wanasema, huyu, you know how we are so dismissive, and this one not going anywhere. Now, he ended up being the fastest man in the world. And for a whole day, he was on the screen, being beamed internationally as a man, one and only. And I think that's what success is, a journey. And we must work and work at it together. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. We are all in agreement that one, it is a journey. It is not a destination. It is not instant coffee. And that's why we are talking about we need to be on that journey. But the first question was, which journey? And the answer is, we need to know the journey, and this journey should be in line with our purpose. We've known our purpose, and so we are growing slowly but surely towards our maximum potential in that particular purpose. Let's say, for example, Elsie is in love with education, educating children. Now, if Elsie has the capacity to educate 1 million people, she should be growing towards that particular goal, growing towards that particular potential. And that is being successful. She will be fulfilled in her life. Every morning, she'll be happy doing everything she's doing and growing in that particular journey. And then what is she doing? She's sowing seeds that will make a difference in the lives of people. And there is no anything that will make more fulfillment in that particular life. We discussed this in the previous book, and it's also part of this, that if you look at yourself and you think of the time when you will not be there because you've lived your part, and you see people coming to wherever you are able to see people coming for your anniversary. And specifically, this is a 10th anniversary. And you're hearing them speaking and in agreement and everyone repeating the same things. What is it that you'd like to hear them say? And that is basically what we are talking about. That is the success. And many people will not want to hear how big your house is or how many holiday destinations you went to and all that, but it will be something to do with how you impacted on people's lives. And that is what becomes most important at that point. Yes. And you realize that at some point we may run away, run around trying to do other things that are more of myself. And sometimes we even run away from the families, our families going maybe abroad. I've seen people, you travel abroad, you've left your family here, and you cannot just come. It's not like you've gone to Kisumu or Mombasa from Nairobi that you can come over the weekend. Yeah, you come after 5 years or 10 years, and then you come for a month or two, and then you go back. And then you wonder, what type of life is that? You're always away. It doesn't make sense. So we are in agreement about that, that one, we've got to know what is our purpose. And then, having known that purpose, are we growing towards achieving it to our marks? And then, and how will we know whether we reached our marks? When we are dead. And it means we will always do what we were meant to do until we cannot do anymore. Yeah, maybe we've grown too old to do it. As far as I'm concerned, in my calling of teaching, the older I grow, the wiser I will become, and the more I will continue to do it. And that's one reason I chose it. But it reaches a point where, for example, if you are a priest, you cannot go to the altar anymore due to age or something. But you are growing towards your marks. You will not live to regret anything. You are successful. And then you are sowing seeds that are going to be beneficial to others. Great. Any other comment on the same? Nelson, you should say something. I know you logged in a little late.
Yeah, good morning. I logged in a bit late. Yes, I agree with the sentiments that success is a journey. And my thinking is that the measure of success is, like you've said, is what impact you've had on people. You can't, when we check into this world, I think our main purpose in life is to impact on people and to help people one way or the other. Either you're impacting on knowledge like you're doing, or you're doing to make people's lives better. And a life lived without, I find that people I interact with, people who live, there are people I've interacted with, people who've lived their lives from a selfish point of view. When you talk to them, you realize that those people, even when they talk, they're very shallow. There's nothing they tell you that makes you wish to be like them. If they might have all the money, but there's nothing that they say that makes you, be left with a wow moment, that there's something you've learned. However, you might find also on the flip side, people who are very modest in their lives. And someone you find that but they live their lives with, they purpose to help someone, even if it's one person a year or whatever. And you find that those kind of people, they have very rich lives that you even want to, you look at them in admiration. And in my book, those are the people I consider as successful. And I aspire to be like them. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. In other words, our scale need to be not necessarily a public scale, but our personal scale. Yes. And that's why if we want to compare, we want to define success the same way for a hare, an eagle, and even a duck, then we are frustrating ourselves. Yeah, we are frustrating ourselves. We need to know that each one of us has different calling, different potential, and even what draws joy. Our contribution to the world is uniquely ours. you'll realize that like Odhiambo is about information flow, journalism. If he does that so well, he is able to change lives because people get the truth. People are able to make the right decisions. If he does it just for selfish gain, he will still be empty because misinformation, disinformation as we hear it nowadays, and by the end of the day, a catastrophe. You see, I'm sure the people who have been perpetrating misinformation and everything else, deep within them, because we were made for each other, deep within them, they are very empty. They are very stressed, and they are not enjoying what they are doing. So that is it. That is it. Thank you very much. Good. Any other contribution as we close? Anybody would like to say something before we close? We have like 5 minutes on the max. Yes, Carol.
I think it's some sort of a question. Like sometimes on our path to success, as John had earlier alluded to, that you may be on your path to success, but you're also making other people feel uncomfortable. And to me, I think sometimes when you are on your path to success, for example, I can set my goals and have confidence in myself, high self-esteem for me to achieve what I want to achieve, but somebody else does not feel good about it. How do we go about such people?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. Yes, anybody would like to respond to that?
I will.
Yes, Elsie, thank you.
And it's just in 2 few words, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's all about what I can control and what I cannot control. I cannot control how people feel about me, what people think. And as long as I'm in my space doing me, I think the best thing is I can control myself and I can grow to be who I want to be as I make a contribution in other people's lives. So do not fear. Stay in your lane. Cheza kama wewe.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think OPP, we need to have a session about healthy boundaries in relationships.
Yeah.
That's really nice, Elsie. Yeah, let me just do me, because there's so many toxic people, even within your own family. Yeah. And you discover very quickly that your friends are very few, and friends are people who really want the best for you, and enemies are those who do not want the best for you. And usually life is what shows you who is who. And once you identify who is who, then you hang around with people, surround yourself with supportive people, and those people who do not want the best for you, or who fill you with negativity, or you have this, you listen to yourself, you listen to your body. How do I feel around this person, or after having a conversation with this person? And slowly eliminate these people. If you can't eliminate them because they're relatives or workmates, you just cut it down to the bare minimum. But healthy boundaries in relationships is very important, because you treat yourself as your best friend, the way you talk to your best friend. If your best friend came and told you this person makes me feel this makes me feel low, makes me feel like I have a low self-esteem, you would automatically tell her to cut down on this time she spends with those people, and not let those people, not to absorb their negative energy. But how come you yourself, you keep going into these toxic spaces? That's not loving yourself. That's not being your best friend. I may identify toxic spaces long time ago, and I don't go into them unless I really have to. If it's a funeral and we all have to be there, I'll sit very far away. I'll pray for you from very far. But I really don't need toxic spaces. I don't need toxic people. Thank you.
Let me add something. Let me add something, OPP.
Yes.
Sometimes nature has a way of identifying. Nature has a way of bringing you close to people that who will ride and die with you. because most of the time we call so many people friends, and then when something happens to you, then you see everybody vanishing. So from that, we need to learn one thing, and I'll say it today. We need to practice what is called OQP, only quality people. If you have 3 people of only quality people, then that is your circle. Don't have a crowd of 100 people calling them friends, and then there are people who are looking forward to see your downfall. Like Elsie is saying, you just need to have a selective number of people, even if there are 5 of them, but these are people that will die for you. Then that's what you need to move around with. Because sometimes we fill our phone books with numbers, and then by the end of the day, they're not people that you'll call around and come through for you. So we need to really trim that number to very few guys, so that we have a quality life. Thanks.
To add on to what John has said, to add on to what John has said, I agree about having just quality people around you. However, there's one principle I've learned that was, like a light bulb moment. The Bible says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. And when you think about that phrase, you can't love your neighbor unless you know how to love yourself. It starts from within. Oftentimes, there are a lot of times you do stuff and you're told you're being selfish, you shouldn't do that. And you end up abandoning loving yourself and giving yourself attention for the sake of pleasing others. And even if you take it, even bring it down to the family level, you can't love your children if you do not know how to love yourself. You end up damaging children because what you're thinking is love ends up not being love, but being a form of emotional neglect, because you've emotionally neglected yourself. So you don't know how to give emotional support to the children and to the members of your family and to those people who are close to you. So it starts within. Start by loving yourself, appreciate yourself, treat yourself. And then when you appreciate yourself, you'll be able to even appreciate those who are close to you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to add something there in that line of crossing the paths. If you are following you're pursuing your purpose, there are instances you may make other people unhappy. A good example is, let's say you are a political leader. And I love to say there is a difference between a political leader and a politician. Now, you've been elected president, you have a few things you want to do, and maybe in Kenya, one is you want to eliminate corruption. You are going to cross very many people's paths. You are going to be on the neck of some other people. But then you are doing it for the greater good of the country. So you are not going to sit down and say, sorry, I really did not intend to do it. I've stopped it. No, your purpose is to grow the economy, make an environment that is going to be pleasing to everybody, including the people who've stolen. Yeah, an environment where everyone feels home. So you will do it, and you will cross other people's paths. Let's say your purpose was to take, for example, Wangari Maathai. Your purpose was to conserve environment, ensure that we are living in an environment we can rely on. But then there are people who want to bring down trees, destroy the parks, and all sorts of things. Then you will be. In fact, it's said that if your purpose is not something you are willing to die for, then it's not strong enough. So you will realize that for some people, the purpose you've identified, your life purpose, the line you want to follow, it is a bigger calling, and you are going to be at war. You will not retreat. You are not supposed to. Yeah, otherwise Jesus would have retreated and gone back and said, well, I was at peace for 30 years. Why not risk my life? Why risk my life for other people who are not willing? You see? So we've got to be people who, the moment we choose the line we want to follow, we will not stop because some other people are unhappy. If it is the right thing to do, we've got to do it. No intimidation will be enough. No amount of discouragement will be enough to put us down. And that's why it needs to be something that resonates with us, and we will go for it. And it's the same reason you will see some people going to demonstrate and going to, I've seen other people locking themselves in chain in front of some other offices that they are demonstrating against. That is what we call it. And to many of us cool people of today, the middle class, we do not have such strong drive to fight for what we think is part of our goal, is part of our calling. And so we let things slide by, and we want to believe somebody else will be responsible. Somebody else should, Okia or Mutata should do this. No, if we are, for example, called into leadership to defend the children of this nation, we will do it. It doesn't matter who says no. It doesn't matter how many artilleries are put in front of us. That is the way. That is what is right when you are thinking about crossing the paths of people and making other people uncomfortable and stepping on other people, because theirs is driven by selfishness, is driven by something that is not good for all. Otherwise, there is also that element of discouragement of every path to success, which we've discussed, and we are going to discuss it also when we start discussing chapter 2, which is the second D. The first D is always the dream, and the second D is determination. And we have lots of stories in there. Otherwise, we will stop there. Next week, next Monday, we are going to have this session, leadership and the paradox of failure. Leadership and the paradox of failure. And it will be facilitated by my brother, Engineer Musa Uguba. He's a leadership scholar pursuing a PhD, church elder, and all that. Yeah. So that brings us to this end, and I'd like to thank all of you for attending, for the opportunity to share all this. It keeps me alive also. Thank you very much.